All right. The name is Delman, doing the review for the new Ransom Conway the Machine and V Don album called Chaos is My Ladder Part 2. This review is done on behalf of Old Heads Network. All right, this is more of a Ransom album or Ransom project than it is a Conway the Machine joint, because the first Chaos is My Ladder was just Ransom and V Don. And V Don does the production. And even on this part two, Ransom raps more than Conway. So this is more of his project. You could say it's like a Cuban Links type thing where it was Raekwon's album, but Ghostface was on a lot of joints. So even though it's a duo, they coming together to make a project, it feels more like a Ransom project than anything, if that makes any sense. And Ransom, he's been dropping projects since 2008, but I only became aware of him as far as his album making goes in 2020 with his album, The Director's Cut, Scene 1. He has a few of those. He has a few parts to that Director's Cut as well. Ransom has like damn near 30 projects. That's including EPs. Not out of the norm for him to drop like 2 or 3 different projects in 1 year. That's not out the norm for him. He's done that several times. So he's constantly putting out projects. He stays consistent. And some of his projects, I would have to say, were not as good as they could have been due to the production. And what I mean by that is he tend to do projects where it was heavily based on drumless beats. And I'm not a fan of drumless beats. Like for an album, I could take like 2 or 3 songs without drums, where he just chop up the sample and loop up the sample and he's just rapping. I can take that. That doesn't deter me from giving an album a high grade. But when you do it like half or the majority of the album, to me it takes away from the album. And I think his albums could have been better in the past if he didn't have so many songs where they were just drumless beats. Because he can rap his ass off. He's one of the top-notch lyricists right now. If I had to name, I'm not including the vets from the 90s or early 2000s or even mid-2000s, but if I had to say the now generation, not the new generation, the now generation of rappers that would come to mind when you say top lyricists, Ransom would be one of them, and Conway would be one of them. So I had no doubts about this new album when it came to lyrics at all. But to my surprise, and my pleasant surprise, most, if not all, the beats have drums, which I love. Me as a producer, I love drums on beats. I'm just not a fan of drumless beats. That's just me. But anyway, Ransom and Conway, as I said, being top-notch lyricists coming together, piqued my interest for this album. I really dig V Don's production. I think the hooks are stellar. They have clever lines. They got the street talk but with substance though. It has substance. They not just doing a bunch of talking shit. And it also has its braggadocious raps too. So it gives you a little bit of all the things you will want in an album that's going to have these type of lyricists on there. And it only has 10 tracks total, 1 interlude. And I liked every song. It was only one song that I'm not even sure about. I don't dislike it, but I'm not sure if I like it. And the name of that joint was called Born Again. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but maybe after a few more listens, that will grow on me. So there's nothing really bad I could say about this album. To be honest with you, Ransom has like 2 solo joints on here. One is called Midlife Crisis and the other one is called Nefarious. And Nefarious is the last song on the album, is a deep song where Ransom is having a conversation with the devil. So that's a very deep song. Conway doesn't have a solo joint on here. And like I said, he doesn't rap on two of the joints that's on here, two of the tracks that's on the album. So that's another reason why I was telling you it's more of a Ransom album than anything. I'm gonna go high with this grade. I'm gonna give it an A minus. I was thinking a strong B plus, but this is an A minus album. It just gets to the A minus level. A short but strong project. It's only like 23 minutes total. So it's a good, easy listen. It has one feature on there outside of Conway, and that's Lloyd Banks. He's on a song called Higher Killer, which is a banger. Love that song. And I have to say, this is one of Ransom's best projects. Because I always thought, man, his albums could be so much better if it had some drums on it. And they got the drums on it. So I highly recommend this album. One of the better albums of the year. I'm not getting talked about much, to my surprise. But hey, I'm going to talk about it. So subscribe to the channel, like, and all that good shit, and I'm out.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.